G'day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So the GoPro Mission 1 Pro has been out for about a month now, and I've had a good amount of time to use it and test it out in real world situations how I normally use my action cameras. And that's really important, that way I can get a good understanding of its capabilities, the video quality, and the overall user experience. Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of the most dramatic upgrades from any GoPro in the past, except perhaps when GoPro went from 1080 to 4K. They've really made some substantial changes. My experience with it so far has been extremely positive. However, the big question is whether it's too late. Can this new camera sway some of their past customers who moved over to companies like DJI or Insta360? Is the new upgrades that they've added enough to sway them to come back? Now, to start out, I want to talk about what I feel are the most important aspects of this camera, and that is video quality and reliability. Stability and reliability have been kind of hit or miss over the last couple of years with GoPros. I've experienced lots of problems. I've had my cameras lock up. I've had my cameras freeze up. I've lost footage. Now, not everybody experiences that with their GoPro, but there have been quite a few when you're reading forums and Facebook groups. A lot of people ended up moving to DJI's action camera or Insta360's action camera just because GoPros were kind of falling behind not only in technology, but also the reliability. Those other platforms are rock solid and you tend to not have any problems. But I'm happy to say that I've been using this now, as mentioned, for about a month and I've not had a single problem. My camera has not locked up once, it is not frozen, and I have not lost any footage. I think GoPro has done a really good job at ironing out some of the kinks. Now, that's not to say that's not going to happen. 30 days is not really a long enough time to tell for longevity, but so far that has been really positive. And I haven't had it overheat as well, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later on in this video. Arguably, GoPro has always had incredible video quality, probably some of the best of any action camera. When the lighting is good, the footage always looks fantastic. Now, personally, I don't think when filming in 4K, there's a lot of difference between the Mission 1 Pro and the Hero 13 Black. I think you're going to find very similar results. If you look at this side-by-side comparison, one is shot on the Hero 13 Black, the other one shot on the Mission 1 Pro, and as you can see, they look very similar. Now, the lighting is good, but generally the footage in 4K to me looks pretty well the same. Now, with that said, the Mission 1 Pro does have the added bonus of having higher bit rates. You can actually set the bit rate up to 240 megabits per second on your Mission 1 Pro, whereas the Hero 13 Black had a max bit rate of 120 megabits per second. And even with something like GoPro Labs, you can boost that up even further. And that bitrate is going to increase the overall video quality in some scenarios. So that is one thing that it does have going. But I think in general, the footage looks very similar when recording in 4K in good lighting. The big difference, however, is going to be when you're filming where lighting conditions are not ideal. The GoPro Mission 1 Pro is the first GoPro with a 1-inch sensor. So between that 1-inch sensor, the new GP3 processor that allows for processing the footage right on camera, and their new dedicated night mode, you can get some really incredible low light shots. And that's something that GoPros have always struggled with. They just never perform very well in low light scenarios. The competition has had good low light capability for the last couple of years, but now with your Mission 1 Pro, if you do have to film at night or when the lighting condition is not ideal, not necessarily just at night, but even something like twilight or sunset, or perhaps you're filming under a dark tree canopy or in a dimly lit interior, the new low light capabilities, the 1-inch sensor and the GP3 processor are really going to enhance your footage. But the other big upgrade of the Mission 1 Pro is now the ability to capture in 8K. And it doesn't matter whether you get the standard Mission 1 or the Mission 1 Pro, they both are capable of 8K footage. The only difference really is with the Mission 1 Pro, you can film at 8K 60 frames per second, whereas the standard Mission 1 can only film at 8K 30 frames per second. For the most part, people are not going to be filming in 8K to export in 8K, but 8K can be extremely important when it comes to post-editing. For example, if you take a look at this footage here, this was captured in 8K 60 frames per second, so that allows me to slow the footage down by half, and because it was filmed in 8K, I can zoom in quite a bit while I'm editing to make the shot look a little bit more dramatic and bring the action a little closer in. So I think for a lot of people that 8K can be important for that aspect, is that it's going to give you more flexibility while doing your editing. Now another big improvement of the GoPro Mission 1 Pro is that they introduced a new battery, the Enduro 2, and that greatly increases the performance of the camera, not only when it comes to the amount of time you can record for, but also when it comes to charging, which can be important as well. According to GoPro, with the new Enduro 2 battery, you can expect about 5 hours while filming in 1080, and you can get a little over 3 hours while filming in 4K. So that is a substantial improvement over the Hero 13 Black, and that's going to be important for some creators. Not having to swap out your batteries quite as much is definitely a plus. But the other important aspect of that is that the GoPro Mission 1 Pro now supports quick charging, which GoPros have not in the past. All the competition have adopted that, and that can be really important. That allows you to charge your battery from empty to about 80% in about 20 minutes. The other nice thing about the Enduro 2 battery is that it's backward compatible with your Hero 13 Black. So if you've got batteries from a Hero 13 Black, it will work in the new Mission 1 Pro and vice versa. These batteries will work in your Hero 13 Black. Now you're not going to have all the benefits of that extra record time. You'll get a little bit of a boost, but most of that extra recording time comes from the new efficient GP3 processor. Now if we take a look at the form factor, you can see it is a little bit larger than the Hero 13 Black. And I'll just show you the weight difference here. You can see the Hero 13 Black is coming in at 158 grams. The GoPro Mission 1 is coming in at 205 grams. So there is a slight weight increase as well as size. That's not going to be super important to everybody. For myself, I haven't really noticed a big difference when using this on a chest mount or holding it, doing some hand footage. For people who are going to be flying it on FPV, most of these modern FPV rigs are plenty powerful. That extra weight shouldn't make too much of a difference. On smaller quads, perhaps that might be a concern. So that is something to keep in mind. Now you can see here the screen size has been increased on the Mission 1 Pro. If I put it side by side to the Hero 13 Black, you can see we do get a slight size increase, and that's beneficial because it does make seeing your settings, changing your settings, or lining up your shots a little bit easier when you have a larger screen. The other really nice new upgrade is the button size. You can see the buttons are quite a bit larger compared to previous generations, and that can be really important. Makes it a lot easier to start and stop recording, or to change modes, or power on your camera, especially in the winter and you're wearing thick gloves. That will make it a lot easier to power on and start recording. And the other interesting thing is, I don't know if you can see there on camera, but there's an opening going right under the button. That allows water to go under the button if you're filming underwater, and that helps equalize the pressure, so you don't have the pressure of the water pushing down on the buttons. And because of that, they've been able to increase the depth of the GoPro without a casing. It's now capable of filming underwater up to 20 meters without a casing. And of course, if you do need to go deeper than that, they do offer waterproof housing that will allow you to go substantially deeper. And this is also handy just if you want to add some extra protection to your camera. Myself, I like mounting my GoPros on RC vehicles, which sometimes are flipping and rolling. So if I know I'm going to be doing some really hard bashing with them, I will put it in a case just to keep the camera protected. It's always cheaper to replace a case like this if necessary than the whole camera. A couple other slight changes that they've made to the form factor is we now have two microphones right there on the front, right above the screen. We still have the quick draining microphone there on the side. And we also have a new microphone, if you can see that there, right under the GoPro logo on the back. So we now have a microphone on the back, so that's great if you're doing any filming away from you, you're standing behind the camera doing some commentary, you're still going to be able to pick up good audio. And the other thing they've added might be kind of hard to see right there, but there is a sensor there. That sensor can now help detect flickering if you're filming indoors with artificial lighting. Now, when it comes to the Mission 1 Pro, GoPro has completely overhauled the menu system, and I actually really like it. I really like the way it's laid out now. Now, that's going to be subjective to every user. Every user is going to have their own opinion on that, but I really like what they've done. Instead of having just the 3 modes that we cycle through, GoPro now has all the most common ones that we can easily swipe through. They've added some new ones. They have night effects there, lapse, time lapses, photo, video. They have a new sport point of view mode, which is great if you've got this mounted on a chest mount. It's going to give you really good results. We have slow motion, and we have their new dedicated light mode. And one nice thing that they've done is you can customize what modes are displayed there depending on which ones you use, because there might be some of those modes that you never use. So you can easily customize it at any time by tapping on that manage modes. You can see all these ones highlighted in blue are the ones that are currently active. These ones here that are darker blue are ones that can be added. So you can add whichever ones that you find most suitable for you. You can see there we have a new subject tracking mode that's going to keep you centered in the frame within reason as long as you have the camera pointed in your general direction. DJI has something similar on their cameras. We have a new vlogging mode. We have a new dedicated dive mode. There's open gate, and there's an endurance mode that you can easily toggle on and off if you want to extend the life of your battery. So I really like how they have it laid out. Then of course you can go in and create your own modes if you want something very specific. Now when it comes to audio capabilities of the Mission 1 Pro, GoPro has really taken things to the next level. They finally have introduced the ability to connect a USB-C microphone directly to it. It's something the competitors have been able to do for a very long time. But now if you have something like a USB-C lavalier, you can plug that directly into the USB-C port. You can plug a USB-C wireless receiver into it. Essentially, any compatible microphone can now be connected directly to it without having to use their media mod or their microphone adapter. And on top of that, they actually have a new dedicated settings page for audio. You can see when we bring up our menu system and we swipe over, depending on whether we have external microphones connected, what will be displayed there will be different. But we can go in, we can turn on audio meters on the front and back screen. We can actually have two audio meters if we have two different audio sources. We can adjust the gain. Now, my personal new favorite upgrade of the Mission 1 Pro is its new slow motion capabilities. The Mission 1 Pro can now capture slow motion footage at 4K 240 frames per second. The footage looks phenomenal. It does just a really good job at capturing slow motion footage. They also have a burst mode slow motion that allows you to capture extremely slow motion footage at 960 frames per second in 1080. Now that's only for a maximum of 10 seconds, but for some clips that's going to look absolutely incredible. And another nice feature that they've changed with the Mission 1 Pro is that you now have the ability to capture both a photo time-lapse and video time-lapse at the exact same time. With previous generations, you had to choose between photos or video, so you kind of had to decide what was your priority. But now you can do both, so you can have a video when you're done recording that's ready to go for that instant gratification, but you also have the photos that you can take home and edit if you want to get a little bit more creative. Now, when it comes to negative aspects, I haven't really found anything terribly negative. Now, I've only been using it for 30 days, and I'm sure perhaps something might pop up, but there are two things that kind of stick out that are a little bit on the negative side. And the first is being the price. This camera is actually fairly expensive. I'm going to go by Canadian prices here because I live in Canada, but it's the same whether you're in the US or another country. The GoPro Mission 1 Pro is a little bit more expensive than some of the competitors. For example, right now you can see the GoPro on Amazon is $949, which I think is approximately what I paid for mine. I ordered it directly from GoPro, and I think with taxes and shipping and everything, it came to about $1,100, a little over $1,100 actually. So that's a lot of money to spend on an action camera, especially for new consumers or people who aren't really sure how much they're going to be using it. Now, if you're a GoPro subscriber and you order directly from the GoPro website, you will get that a little bit cheaper, but it's still a substantial price tag, and not everybody wants to subscribe. And that's compared to the Action 6 here. You can see we can get the basic combo. Regular price comes in at $599. And because these have been out for a year, they've been going on sale, so you can get something very similar in capability for about half the price. And even something like the Ace Pro 2 here, now it is on sale. Regular price is $529, but you can see you can get it right now for $429. So again, half the price of the Mission 1 Pro. Now, with that said, that camera is 2 years old, but it almost matches the capability of the Mission 1 Pro in a lot of the aspects. So I think that's the first kind of negative of the Mission 1 Pro. There's a lot of competition on the market with very similar specs that are about half the price, just a little bit more. The other thing that's a little bit negative and a little bit off-putting if you're going to be upgrading from something like your Hero 13 Black is when it comes to compatibility with existing accessories. There are many accessories that are still compatible, such as the magnetic mounts. The magnetic mounts from the Hero 13 Black are fully compatible. As mentioned, the batteries are interchangeable between the Hero 13 Black and the Mission 1 Pro. But when it comes to cases, frames, ND filters, and lenses, none of that equipment is interchangeable just due to the form factor changes, which I kind of get. At some point they do have to change things, but I've spent a lot of money on my Hero 13 Black lenses and ND filters, and for me that's just a little bit disappointing that I can't use them on my Mission 1 Pro, especially the wide angle lens. I use that probably the most out of all the lenses that I have. In fact, it's usually a permanent fixture on my Hero 13 Black. Right now, there is no option for an extremely wide angle lens for the Mission 1 Pro. Hopefully that is something that GoPro does offer down the road. And on top of that, the media mod for your Hero 13 Black will not be compatible, again, because of the form factor difference. GoPro does have a new media mod coming for the Mission 1 Pro, but as far as I know, that's not available yet either. So yeah, folks, that's been my user experience with the new Mission 1 Pro. I think it's a great, fantastic little camera. I haven't run into any problems yet. I've been extremely pleased with the footage. The low light capability, the slow motion capability is phenomenal. The big question is, will some of these new capabilities and features be enough to sway some of their past customers who have moved over to Insta360 or DJI? Will it be enough for them to come back and give GoPro a try again? Now, I'm really curious what your thoughts are on the Mission 1 Pro. If you've purchased one and you've been using it, what has your user experience been like? If you were a previous customer of GoPro and maybe perhaps you switched to another brand, would you consider going back because of its new capabilities? Or is it priced a little too high? Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.